Okay, so yeah, upload it separately. Now you have Pro for a year, I want to say, from your educational license. I can't remember, but like because you use your educational, you should get Pro. Apparently, one of the fourth years told me that it turned off for her, so I don't know what the dealio is.
I convinced like student center in my student event that I have to pay for like Pro and everything, even with a student.
Let me look. Like unless they've changed it.
Also just
Free Pro plan for students, but that's in 2014. So you need to do this. Go to sketchfab.com/education. Did you all do that?
just like are we exporting?
FBX. We're pretty much always using FBX. So you should just check here with your email. Oh, great. Now you know all my emails. Fab. So you just use school email here that's recorded. So. And you should be, DIT is eligible, so you should get it there. When you put in your school email, because you registered with a school account, the way it happened to me was it just went, oh, okay, you're now pro. So I don't know how it's going to happen for you. Huh? But you have to put it in here first, probably. I don't know. It used to be automatic, but I guess not. But anywho, or sign up here, whatever. Okay, cool. But you should have a free pro plan. I don't know how long it lasts though. Oh no, update April 2018. Oh no. I think teachers still have it pro, but it looks like students don't. I don't think you will hit the limit for pro because it's quite high. The only thing you can't do is you can't do this little private model, so it's only there for you. Oh, I pay for pro. Yeah, that's how I get it, I think. That's annoying. It just means you can't hide your models. It's not a big deal. It just would have been nice if you were still pro. That's annoying. Okay. Anyway, writing stuff, and you can put description in here. You can tag it and stuff like that if you want to. So anyway, I'm just going to continue. It'll process, and it should show. Great stuff. Wait, why is that black? Oh no. Okay, I'm hoping that's just a weird thing. I don't know why that is. And then we can go to manage this model, and I know, sorry, there's a 3D settings here somewhere. 3D settings, there we go. And in 3D settings, I can do stuff to it. Cool, so it's there. I can go to materials, and in materials, remember I was talking to you about PBR and the metalness workflow and all that kind of jazz? So we can add our base color here. We have no textures, so I can import textures, and I'll import mine. And again, this is why I don't like to embed it, because this way I can kind of control each texture individually. And if I screw up or made a mistake, I can import each texture individually. And there we go. So that one went to the base color, and it's there. It doesn't look that great. Why is this one black? That's annoying as hell. Why is that one black? It's fine here. What is happening? It's using a different material. I'm just going to convert. If you're finding issues, sometimes I like to just convert to editable poly. And if you have issues with stuff like bending or sizing the wrong way, sometimes you need to do this thing called reset Xform. So you go to utilities, reset Xform, and I always do it twice just to be safe, and then right click convert to editable poly. So now you're flattening everything. You're losing all your history, but you're getting an editable poly. I don't know if this will fix it, but every time something goes wrong, I do that. That's usually it fixes it. So I need to do that. Sure. And I should just be able to re-upload the model. Can't remember where to do that. I think I need to exit. I think it's re-upload, yeah. More re-upload. So I can just replace it. Come on, buddy. You what? I would be, well, if everything was black, at least that I'd be like, okay, there's something. It's just weird that one of it is and all the rest isn't, so I don't really know what's happening there. They're all using the same material as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I think so. Not quite sure. We'll see now. No, it's still black. I don't know why. Why? Why? Okay, I'll have to fix that later. I have no idea why that's only this one is black. Anyway, in Sketchfab, you see you can do that. That's Alt and middle mouse button will rotate the lighting, so you can make it all moody and jazz. So let me go back to 3D settings and go back to materials. And again, base color here, import the textures, and import that texture. Cool. And that's my base color. And then my metalness is here. So I can do that like just with the slider, but this will be a global metalness, sorry, over everything. And then this is smoothness. So you can see it getting really shiny. There we go. It's a bit too much, but that is how I would control it here. So if I wanted only certain bits to be, and you can see it really works on this part, they're really metal. If I wanted like only certain parts to not be metallic, like this, which I have screwed up for some reason. Huh. That is weird. Maybe I just have it slightly wrong. I would need to do a metalness map, right? You remember the black and the white stuff? Yeah, so literally I would have to do that. So I would set areas that I want to not be metallic to black. If I want it to be a little bit metallic, it'll be shades of gray. And if I want it to be fully metallic, it's pure white. But either way, this looks fine. And then I have a bunch of other stuff. So normal map here, this is the one that right now we can't do one here. This doesn't have the same thing that Unity does, you know, the black and white conversion. It doesn't have that. So we're going to look at different ways in the future of creating our own normal maps. Okay. This one is for skin. So again in the future, or if you're using rubber or any kind of like matte object, let me just turn it on. I don't think it'll work with metallic though. Drop it down. So I don't know if I turn that off. Can you see like it kind of looks see-through-y, kind of almost? It looks like marble a lot more. I turn that off and on. And that's because marble lets in a little bit of light, and it's slightly opaque but also slightly transparent. So now it looks way more like jade or marble or some kind of rock that's a little transparent. Now in the future, we can do stuff like a texture to tell it which parts are thinner or thicker to be translucent to. So if we look for subsurface scattering, there's a Sketchfab one. There we go. This is a blog from when it first showed up. And see like that? So this really looks like a really transparent see-through material. Unity doesn't have subsurface scattering yet. You can get a shader that does do it, like on the App Store, the Asset Store. But I'm pretty sure they're adding support for it soon. So it's good to know this stuff. But basically, it just makes skin look way more realistic, or marble look way more realistic. Because normally it wouldn't have. See the bits where it's thin. There's little bits where light's shining through because it's slightly transparent. So it makes it look like that. It kind of looks like frosted glass or like jade or something. And you can see that it's not just a color, it actually reacts in real time. So depending on where the light's shining, it actually reacts. So that's what that's what subsurface scattering does, and it's very useful for faces and stuff. But you need to be very careful with it. Let me see if I can pull up my model. So you have to be really like kind of subtle with it if you're using it on people. I'm just trying to go to the 3D settings so I can show you how it works on and off. Come on. Oh boy. Okay, anyway, well that's working. Ambient occlusion is like real time. I'm pretty sure this is real time. Yeah, it is. So if we had a normal map, it would work a lot better. So it doesn't really do anything now. Well, it should do. It should make like these. I don't know if you can see it. It's really, really soft. Let me make it not translucent. It might work better. So I don't know. Can you see that it gets a little darker? Or we can also add our own ambient occlusion. We will also look at ways of baking ambient occlusion. What ambient occlusion does is anywhere that's shadowy will just get darker and more shadowy. If that makes sense. I don't think this is working. I need a map for it. So I need to go to post-processing, and there should be SSAO. It's a real-time one. All right, can you see that? As it gets all shadowy, let me make it super intense. Okay, so this one is a real-time version. So anywhere that's dark will get way more shadowy, especially like these parts where they're close to each other. So you see, I'm turning it on and off, and it just makes it look a little bit more realistic. I've put it way too high just so you can see it, but it should be a bit less. And we can bake a map for this. So this one is real time. So this is calculating every frame, which is very expensive. But we can make a map later, and we'll look at all these kind of baking maps later. And then finally, emission. Have I shown you emission yet? No? Okay. So I'm going to do emission now. And this red area, let's say I just want that little glowy red area to shine. So let me just select that. Make a new layer. And on this layer, I'm just going to fill that color. So I'm going to make it that red color. There we go. And I'll make everything else black. So what emission will do is whatever is black will not emit light. Whatever has a color, any color, will emit that color. So if I want it to emit white, I'll put white. If I want it to emit blue, I'll put blue. In this case, I want it to emit red, so I'm going to put red. I'm going to save this as a different map. So the other one was called the normal. It should be called stop texture normal. So I'm going to call this stop texture underscore emission. And okay. And I should be able to import that now into Sketchfab. And this is the same exact thing in Unity. Unity has an emission slot. Same thing, just bring in a texture for emission. Go back to manage textures, import texture, and emission. Cool. So I don't know if you could see it. Let's turn it off and on. It's kind of glowy. It's not super glowy yet though. So emission, it is showing off light. But if I go to the post-processing and turn on this thing called bloom, and the intensity up and the threshold. Oh, why isn't it blooming? Isn't it blooming? I don't know. It should be a lot. Oh, there we go. Can you see it? Oh, okay. It was too bright. Okay, cool. There we go. All right. So now it starts to get really glowy. And that little kind of fade around it, that's bloom. So off and on. Now be careful because the threshold here is like, so if I do this, anything that's below this will not bloom. So this kind of tells it has to be of a certain brightness before it starts giving you that bloom effect. And if you put it too high, where everything starts blooming, everything's glowing, including like the light that's shining on that. Which may be what you want, it may not be what you want. Depends on what you're trying to do. Yeah, and the radius can go bigger. It's very, very soft. So let me change the environment to a different environment that's darker. Maybe that'll work better. So change the environment to studio. Cool, that's a bit better. I think you can see the bloom a bit better with that, right? So yeah, that's bloom. Intensity. And SSAO is on. Cool. And then there's a load of other stuff you can do. You can do like color balance to change like the shift of tones of color. You can do tone mapping, which is similar. And literally just play with these. Just play around with these and see how you like them. Depth of field is whether there's blurriness. I don't like using it because sometimes people rotate your model and they'll go into the depth of field place and it'll look too blurry. You can see that like you need to control. So when you zoom in, it's in focus, and when you zoom out, it's like out of focus. I don't really like it. It gets a bit wrecky. Sharpness is like a global sharpness. I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of just sharpens the image. Chromatic aberrations is this weird, trippy thing. Again, I don't really like it because it's confusing and you can't see your model that well. But either way, let's go back to there. Yeah, that's... Oh, the emission is very low. There we go. I put it down too low. There we go. Now it's very high. And the threshold, I can bring the threshold down so nothing else glows except that one. Oh my god, the intensity is very high. Cool, so everything else doesn't bloom. Everything else just reacts normally to light. And that is blooming because I whacked up the emission intensity here. Clean ups? Okay. I did like that transparency thing. Yeah, I quite like that marble look. Anyway, let's go here. So in the future, we can look at stuff like the subsurface scattering. It has a map here, so it doesn't fully just do the same subsurface scattering for everything. So in this, her ears, I don't know if you can see it, her ears are thinner, so they react to light a lot more. The light kind of glows through that a lot more, and the tip of the nose should do as well. If I turn it to the side, you can kind of see it's a little glowy in the tip of the nose, but the rest of the face doesn't react as much because it has a map that tells it these areas are thin, these areas are thin, these areas are thick. We don't have to make the map ourselves. You don't have to paint it yourself. There's a way to do a thing called baking, and baking we'll do later on, where you take a model and you basically tell a program to look at it and calculate a map based on that. Okay? So cool. So just have your model in Sketchfab and just have it visible. I'm going to try and figure out this stupid black thing. Because this will be basically your first portfolio piece. Okay? Like, you can take it down later if you think you get better, obviously. But for now, this is quite a good thing. Like, a lot of people will take weeks to get to the stage that we are. So we've done quite well. All right, so you all should be proud of yourself. Metallic subsurface is weird because I don't think things exist. Oh no, it kind of looks more like marble. Cool. How do you upload to what? We don't have textures because we didn't embed textures on purpose. We didn't embed them, so you import them through, let's say it's this one, manage textures, and you can import it.
Where did you get that list of loads of stuff from? Because my model inspector has like 5 options.
Here, materials.
Yeah, no,
Are you in 3D settings? Okay, so the other one I forgot to say is lighting is here. The environment, on and off, like if I turn off the environment, there's no environmental lighting. So right now, all my lighting is from the environment. You can turn it off, and you can just use lights alone. And there's a bunch of, you can grab these lights, and you can select them individually. I think you click this, and yeah, you can select them individually. Or you can have lighting presets as well. So like there's this, and there's like this. There's a bunch of little lighting presets. You can use both of them, so you can have a lighting preset and the environments, and you can change, there's a bunch of different environments here. So what this is like, it's a thing called a HDR map. We may see this next semester, but basically it's a way of like putting a picture around and making everything reflect that picture as if it's like lighting up the scene, okay? So you see if I do like let me see if I can find what this looks like. Okay, if I do this one, everything is kind of orangey and bluey and stuff like that. And you can control how bright it is here as well. Clear? So it just depends on what kind of look you want to have. Yeah. And you can control like how bright the lights are and stuff like that. So how much it affects the model. Clear. Post-processing is here. And you can also do VR if you want. And you can like control where, like how big it is. So like this scale is how big the model will be to someone looking at it in VR. So if I do that, and let me put the floor level up. So someone looking at it in VR will see it like in that position in VR. And this just works with any VR, so you don't need to worry about it. You just control where it is. So they'll look at it and they'll see it like that. Coolio? Oh, they got sound now. Ooh, fancy. Okay, I didn't know about this thing, but they've got sound, I guess. Cool. Let's see, is there anything else y'all need to know? Oh, no. Wireframe should be off by default. Like, you can, if you want, turn on wireframe so they by default see it, but you don't have to. And you can also do a thing called save view. So let's say I'm like, oh, this is the prettiest view. If you click save view, that'll be the thumbnail of your model, right? And then when you're done, you can publish. Yay! And then people can go to that link. So what I want you all to do is upload your models and publish them so I can see them. So I'm gonna make a little assignment in Google Classroom and just literally like dump the Sketchfab link. That's all you need to do. All right.